Hi, this is Fonza. Fonza is a 2019 Tacoma. Started off as a TRD Sport with a 6-speed manual transmission, and she has slowly evolved into not only my adventure rig, home on wheels, work truck, do it all, and love to walk you through it and show you how we got here. So one of the first things we did to the truck was it came with these big 17-inch rims and street tires, and I was even getting stuck in the lawn without putting stuff in four-wheel drive, so we swapped those out for these 16s, a little more discreet. And then we put a 235/85 R16 KO2 on it. That tire has pretty much the tallest height. It comes in, it's like almost 32 inches tall. And with the narrow track, it's really good in snow and actually sand. So they refer to these as pizza cutters. And that keeps my rolling resistance down, and it also keeps the weight down, so it's less rotational weight. So you pretty much get as much lift as you can from the tire without the weight of the big fat ones, which we all know look wicked cool. Next thing we did is we put a Prinsu access rack on. I got the access cab because I wanted a 6-foot bed. And unfortunately on the access cabs on the Tacomas, they do not come tapped for roof racks. So you have to install riv nuts. And this project, if anyone's going to attempt it, I would say budget 3 times as much time as you think you're going to need. I spent probably 6 hours drilling the holes to put in the riv nuts. The metal is extremely tough on that section of the cab, obviously for safety reasons. And I kind of smoked a new set of metal specific drill bits, so it's quite a bear. Up there I have mounted max tracks. I got effectively a Cabela's case, which I used, which has to do, it's 7 inches tall, and that just clears underneath my roof rack, which we'll get to. And then I have a shovel mounted with just some little rubber mounts. Moving around, the next big item was this ARE DCU contractor cap. This is 26 inches high. It's a little taller than the cab, but it's kind of masked by the roof rack, and we'll get to it. That gives me enough space to actually sit up in the back of the bed. Let's see. Also, it came with a roof rack on that cap, which is pretty much allowed me to directly bolt screw anything onto it. It's not a proprietary system, so it's allowed me to be pretty creative. One last thing we see on there is this is the Maxi Track awning. It's pretty much an ARB clone, minus a few metallurgic differences, but pretty solid. And that's most recent addition. One other thing that we have done, if we get down there and look, and obviously we're keeping it real, last year we did go ahead and install the ARB Old Man Emu nitrocharger shocks and add-a-leaf kit. Gave us around 3 inches of lift in the back and about 2.5 in the front. Definitely way more when it was first installed, and it has settled nicely, helps carry the load. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a lot of bang for your buck, and I'm sure that's why people buy it. All right, under the hood, where everything's dusty but still in good mechanical condition, one of the first things we did was we added a DC to DC charger. So there's this hot lead coming to a 60 amp breaker, and then that wire runs down along the frame rails and up into the bed. We'll get to that later. Eventually, I think we'll put, as we add more accessories and stuff down the line, you know, this is a 5, 10, 15 year project. put an actual better junction box up here and keep this all tidy. Then we got the ARB dual compressor, pulling my hot lead, tuck that all neatly underneath this shroud. And this is a mount from Slee that removes the power steering pump and places it right here next to the windshield washer jug. On this model, the TRD Sport, the ABS controller is here, and you can't find a mount, or it's hard to find one that'll actually mount the compressor in this location, which I think is slightly better, but so far I've been pretty happy with this. Nothing else crazy underneath the hood. I change my oil every 5,500 with Mobil 1 Extended Performance. And then I also swapped out the stock plastic filter housing for a Toyota aluminum one. I just felt a little more confident having a piece of metal in that place. All right. So walking around, once again, she's dirty, but here we are. Here's the cab. I'm a woodworker, so just some interior upgrades there. And as we follow those around as well, this is an idea I saw at another build on the Gen 1 Tacoma. I made a little shelf here. So this is hooked up with some paracord in the back that's hooked to the existing coat hooks, and then actually just some zip ties around the ceiling kind of mounts. But that allows me to stuff things. I got my quick dry towel, puffy, some hats. One other bit here, the existing switches. So this whole panel here, usually it has, on the other models, it'll have your like A-track, hill descent control, all those doohickeys. So I found a supplier, and I'll link all these suppliers in the description, that did these 3D printed cutouts to modify the roof panel here, and then with these OEM switches. So I have the air compressor there, and then when I was in there, I wired the solenoids for the front and rear lockers. Nothing else crazy in here. I got a collection of rocks and little Buddha on the dash. In the back, I have the Dometic CFX 45 fridge. It's been awesome. There are sometimes I could go for smaller, and there's sometimes I could go for the larger one, but this pretty much does it all. Once again, that is hooked up with the hardwire kit back through the rear of the cab and into the bed, where I do have the batteries and the DC to DC charger. Also, I've done a seat delete in the back. Effectively, if I need to, the seat belts are still there and someone could sit in the back. But for the most part, it's the fridge and Milo's dog bed. Originally, I had a shelf platform here, allowed me to put some extra gear. But on my most recent excursion, a buddy met up with me and we needed to hold more water. So I went ahead and got the, the front runner 10.5 gallon water tank back here. I think eventually I'll hook up some sort of pump or something, but for right now I have a piece of silicone tubing so that this PEX wand is movable, and water just comes out just like that on either side. All right, moving over to the back. So it just looks like a contractor's truck for the most part, with a few accessories. And I wanted to have a full bed. I didn't want to have to set anything up. I just wanted to be able to go. So what I did is I built in a platform with 2 drawers. Those drawers are on 5-foot drawer slides. The drawers are 5.5 feet long. And that leaves me around 9 inches or so of space at the head of the bed that has all the left side has a Victron DC to DC charger, battery protect, smart shunt, and a Blue Sea junction box. And then on the right, there are 200 amp hour AGM batteries that I was able to get from a friend. So hence why we're running those. And then that cable, like I said, one's running into the engine bay and another one is running from that junction box to the fridge. On the left here, so this is removable, but effectively it's a toolbox. This just allowed me to have a space to keep kind of the garage, the gear and such in there. And then I also, this was where my water is. So this is kind of the secondary water now. Just out of a siphon, I've got 6 gallons of water right there to where the kitchen is. One other feature that's great about this is I can open this side, and now I have kind of the corner window effect, which gives me a lot of ventilation, view of the surroundings. I ran my lights, just a quick DEC light strip around the top there. And then I have a max air fan. It's manual, so that the profile of it is still below the roof rack and I can still use that. I just trim that out with some walnut. Then over there I got a little bookshelf, and that's also where like my USB plugs and stuff are to charge my phone, electronics, etc. Got some extra little just power cord strung up there and there if I need to black it out or some more insulation. And the cap, of course, is also Foss line, which helps with condensation. I tell myself it helps with insulation, but all the bedding does more of that. All right, little quickies. The left side, I kind of keep that's my brush and my trash and hitch receiver and such. And on the right, I've got my axe and silky saw, toilet paper, torch, camp chair. So the left side here, this is effectively the kitchen, which has evolved. Wanted to just kind of make nice drawers first, and I figured I'd get the rest on the way. So this little section up front here is just utensils and AeroPress cutting board, lighters, camp stove. This piece of foam just kind of keeps the Coleman from moving out of the way, and then it allows me to have a false bottom where I keep more fuel and my tea. Up here I got just jars with grains. There's actually my cooking equipment, spices, and then the back is more the heavy pantry items, canned goods, etc. This has just been sweet to have a space and just be able to like cook as quickly as possible. I highly recommend even splurging for a little hardline connector for your stove, so you don't have to twist the bottle on every single time. It just makes things so much more pleasant. This drawer, kind of a mess, but it's the garage. I got dog food up front, whatever tools I'm currently using, backpack, extra clothes, dirty laundry, all that fits in there. And then much like that drawer, this storage allows me to keep my water, my air hose to inflate my tires. I got a backpack with hiking backpack and other stuff, all sorts of dog treats, all sorts of bath, extended pantry items, other gear. And then this is what I've pared my tools down for on the road. I just got a drill, flashlight, some bits, 5-in-1 tool, vice grips, pliers, some sandpaper, electrical pliers, utility knife, tape measure. And I pretty much have been able to get away with that for the last 4 months. Got a bike rack up on top, and then once again, that box up there, I keep dog food, tools, other gear, oil, stuff like that.